Yo, dudes, it's your homeboys from Verdicks. Denny, Nick, and the B-Man. What's shaking, fellas?
Hey, what's
Happy
happening, dude?
Wednesday.
Yeah, we made it.
Halfway
Tonight, we're
through.
going to go over part 3 of the things that your father should have told you or things that the positive men in your life should have told you. Uh, the first 2 parts were pretty interesting. I think we added some colorful commentary to it. This next section looks a little dry to me, but we'll see if we could spice it up a little bit. Starting with the first one is to be conscious of your body language. I actually think this is a good comment, but you're not conscious of your body language until you're much older. I now realize that I hunch when I should stand tall. I recognize that I let my shoulders down when I'm feeling blue about things. Like it's actually all entwined, and I'm doing it subconsciously.
Yeah, 100%. I read a book. I forget the name of the title, but it's like a guy. I think the author was Joe Navarro, and he was like an FBI detective, and he tells you all about like body language, like what looking to the side means when you're talking, and different things with your feet when you're sitting, and if you cross your arms and all that sort of stuff. Um, I don't think most untrained professionals would pick up on some of those small details, but
Yeah.
like it's very important, like when you get older and go for interviews. It's very important in social settings. It's super important with future boyfriends or girlfriends, whatever your fancy is. But like you said, like when you're emo mopey like 13, 14-year-old listening to like just sad Simple Plan music or something like that, like you don't think about how you carry yourself, but it becomes way more important later on in life. I think if there's a way to like become conscious of it when you were younger,
Yeah.
and really work on it, you'd have a super big leg up as you get older, because people that are like, oh, like he's so cocky or conceited and stuff like that, like a lot of that's just like walking around with confidence.
Yeah.
Well, think about like always in school, in grade school, like the tallest kid always walked around with his chest puffed up and, like kind of strutting because he was perceivably like the alpha. And that's kind of like what you do as, like as men as well. Like as you get older, you're walking through a city street, you're walking in an area you don't know. You're naturally like, you're up, you're stiff, you're on display, like you're kind of presenting like, I'm not going to be messed with, like that's what you want to give off.
Yeah.
So you become more conscious of it, but I think we subconsciously do it as well. Uh, at younger ages, but it's mostly based on like the kids that have that advantage of being taller and bigger. Definitely, I think pick up on it and read on it. And they know that it makes them that much more intimidating.
Yeah.
I think one of our other ones that we had was like fake it till you make it, right? Type deal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you carry around the positive body language as you're faking it, like again, like double-edged sword, like you give off the air of confidence that you know what you're talking about. Like even though you're faking it, people are more apt to believe it as well.
Yeah, most definitely. I would say the more important aspect of this would be to learn to read people's body language. Learn
True.
when to back away, when somebody really needs help. That's probably the better of the 2 skills, but
pick up on a liar, like someone that's like not telling the truth and stuff like that. Yeah.
Sure.
Or being able to read when someone is like moping around or having a hard time, and like being able to read on that and help lift them up.
Sure. The second one for tonight.
Or wait, how about the other one? Like, even though as you get older too, right? Like the big mystery is like you never ever can read your wife's body language. You think she's in a good mood, but she's not. You think something's wrong, but she keeps telling you that it isn't. Like that's the mystery right there. If you could solve how to read a wife's body language, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah. Please write a book.
Yeah. I mean, the standard truth is that the second you say what's wrong and they say, oh, nothing, there's definitely something wrong. So don't take them at their word.
Well, this brings up a great number 2. The only reason to ever point a gun at somebody is if you intend to shoot them. That includes your wife. Definitely don't point a gun at anyone unless you're in imminent danger, right?
Definitely don't handle a gun unless you've been properly trained.
Yes.
Ever. Like, there's no point whatsoever. About the only reason to handle a gun is if you're at the range shooting
Practicing.
or you're home and it's completely unloaded and like safety checked and you're cleaning it. Like that's it.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't ever held a gun or shot a gun, it's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
It moves you and it changes you after you fire a gun for the first time. You find that it's also incredibly easy, and that there's a lot of opportunity to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So it's
Look
definitely
at
not
the
something to
news
play
right
with.
now, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
whole
but-
Alec Baldwin story and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
anything can happen, man.
absolutely. So yeah, be careful out there.
Yeah.
One time, Denny and I were almost one of those after school specials. We went to a friend's house. His name was Tony L. We'll call him. And he got his father's gun safe and picked it with a butter knife and proceeded to take the gun out. And he said, "Don't worry, there's just blanks in this." Why would there have been? We believed him at the time, of course, but obviously there were not blanks in that gun.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was a pretty dangerous situation. And no matter what, like we knew not to be around a loaded gun, but all of a sudden you found yourself around a loaded gun. And
Yeah.
And if you definitely have one, put it in something that can't be picked with a butter knife.
yeah, for sure.
And don't put it with your
L's
and don't
dad
keep it
also.
with,
Go ahead, Danny.
yeah, don't keep it with your Playboy magazines too. Like
Yeah.
you've just literally created a treasure chest for a preteen boy, you know? Like,
It's the ultimate honeypot for a teenager.
Yeah.
Oh, we found this porn and a gun. This is awesome. All right. The next one on the list is always stand to shake somebody's hand.
Yeah.
Yep,
course.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Don't
fourth
be a
one,
schmooze.
Yeah. Unless you're in a wheelchair, then we understand.
Yeah, good point.
You would
Way
be
to clarify
standing
that.
if you could.
Never lend anything that you can't afford to lose. You learn this later in life too, because
Yeah.
when you lend somebody your first Nintendo game,
Yeah.
you're on edge until you get that thing back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also like another point on this for me would be like, it's not a good idea to like lend friends money. And that's always creates a weird situation. Like as much as you want to help, unless it's like one of you guys, then I think it's a different story. But like you'll have friends that are just friends, not like buddies for life. And
It just has to be a gift. It can't be a
Yeah.
loan. If
Yeah.
you're willing to give them the money, you just have to give them the money. You can't loan it to them.
yeah, but I think with men, as we get older, the big thing for this one is like our tools. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
tough to lend those things out. No one's going to treat them like you treat them. It's just not meant to be.
Yeah. Denny's borrowed my power washer on a number of occasions. Thing comes back all funked up.
That's a lie.
So
That's after Pop takes it.
I immediately drain the oil, put fresh gas in it,
I would do that.
clean her off. Oh, welcome home, baby. Welcome home.
Earlier this spring, the kid across the street was struggling with edging his front lawn because they hadn't done it in the 7 years prior that we've lived here. So he's out there, and it's that thick zoysia grass, right? So it's if you're not doing it regularly, staying on top of it,
It's
and
a pretty good
already-
root system that's been established.
and it's already overgrown the sidewalk 3 inches. Like you're not just going to be out there with just like a shovel and like a weed whacker trying to clean this up, or a hand like weed weasel, you know? So I have a gas edger that I bust out once or twice a season just to make, like get it started, and then to like another time to maintain. And so I said to him, I was like, here you go. You want to borrow? I've got one. You're struggling. Borrow this here. So I gave it to him, and I had run out when he returned it. So it was just in the driveway. I didn't think anything of it. I just put it back in the garage. I was like, I'll see it in the fall. I looked at it the other day. The the band broke on it, the tension band, and he didn't say anything. He just put it back in the driveway, never said anything about it. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I would like. I would think maybe I would leave a note, maybe slip a 20.
Wait, how old is the person?
He's in his 20s.
That's a teenager move. You put it back. You act like you didn't. But
I would
not in your 20s.
I'd put it back, but find you later and explain what happened. I
Right.
wouldn't
Yeah.
pretend like it didn't happen. Like we are neighbors.
Right. Yeah. Be like, hey man, I'm really sorry. But
Yeah.
and I would have said the thing was old. It was, you know, it was
Yeah.
given to me. It's on its list. Like, don't worry about it. But I noticed it, and I'm thinking, well, I wasn't otherwise going to notice it until in the spring when I went to go edge my lawn, and I can't because it's broken. The tensioner's broken.
Yeah.
Do you think he was like, this guy brought this piece of shit over? It's going to be more work to get it running than it's going to be.
Well, the worst part was when it ran out of gas. Since I've had it, my neighbor when he moved gave it to me because he didn't need it anymore, and I've never had to put gas in it. And so I lent it to him, and it ran out of gas. And he yells it across the street. He goes, "Is this an oil gas mix?" And I went, "You know what, pal? I don't know. I've never had to put gas in it before." So I kind of left it up to him.
As I hear more of this story, like,
Yeah,
there's that
he's
game-
right.
There's that game that's like, who's the asshole? Like, you were the asshole in this situation. Like, you're horrible.
I gave it to him with the stretched out broken band. And I didn't know whether to
No
put the
gas.
gas oil
Yeah.
mix or just gas.
Hasn't been started in years.
Here, you can use my iPhone, but it's dead.
Yeah, it's probably like
And
the
when
money
you give
I
it back
spent
to
on
me, I'm going to
gas,
be mad that you gave
starter
me a bad iPhone.
fluid, time, like
Starter.
spark plugs.
Starter.
Moving on.
And that blade might as well be a butter knife.
Yeah. Ask more than you answer. Everybody likes to talk about themselves. I do that at most parties. I have questions for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
asking genuine questions and showing an interest into people just will all around go over well, right?
As a matter of fact, I actually started to make a list of questions that I'm going to ask new people. This is funny. One of mine was, have you ever used a check cashing place? Like, I'm going to meet somebody and be like, oh, hey, I'm Brian. Whenever I meet somebody new, I like to ask them a couple questions so I get to know them. Have you ever cashed a check at a cash checking place?
I'd maybe hold off on that until you have the conversation started a little bit more.
All right. How about this one? Have you ever had a nanny?
That's a good one.
All right. How about this one? Do you ever turn the heat on in your car to keep it from overheating?
Yeah. I was going to say,
Right.
maybe go with the car approach to get an idea as to the type of person they would be like,
Yeah, 'cause if they did that,
tell
they
me-
probably didn't have a nanny.
yeah, say, tell me about your first car. And
Yeah.
if they're like, oh yeah, it was this old Mercedes my dad had for 3 years, then yeah, you don't want to talk to them.
Yeah. Ask people questions, man.
Yeah.
Being a good
Them and their
listener,
brother pulled together $400 to buy an old Mustang,
Yeah.
and one of them couldn't even drive. Then yeah, you want that guy to be your friend.
Heck yeah.
good listeners are underrated.
That's true. Oh, I'm asking more out of greed. I want to get to know everything about somebody.
But that's
It
good.
also helps you
too.
remember them.
It's still you're
Yeah.
listening, still you're showing interest, you're listening, you're finding out about somebody. Just a simple conversation like that with someone showing interest about themselves, like maybe they don't have that. You could be making a difference.
Absolutely. All right. The next one, never have sex with anyone that doesn't want it as much as you.
Yep.
I mean, I know in principle, yes, but that would like eliminate my whole life. I always wanted it way worse. No, I mean, obviously respect people's boundaries. And if somebody tells you they don't want to do something, then don't force the issue.
Yeah.
I was
And-
just being funny and saying that, yeah, I've always wanted it way more than anybody else wanted it.
Yeah, I think it comes to, I think this is more on the lines of like, if the other person is like just kind of present and is willing to go through with it, like you're not doing yourselves any favors, and don't trick yourself into thinking that the partner could really be into you. Like, again, read the body language.
Yeah. And
save
don't
yourself.
forget, like, we're total 40-year-old idiots. Please don't follow any of our.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah,
This is not real advice.
yeah.
All
not
right, let's
I
move
think,
on.
but I think there's also a huge difference between no means no and yeah, okay.
Yeah, in that case, you
That's
just
called
wanted
pity.
it more.
That's called
Yeah.
pity. And when you get to our age, you don't look back fondly on those situations.
Yeah, I will gladly take a sad hand job. All right. I hope nobody ever sees this.
You might want to let that out.
Go for women out of your league. you may end up surprised.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah,
I mean, I
do-
think
do
I
it.
married up. I think Christy's way out of my league. So, you know,
I think so much.
when I met Christy in the situation that I was in, the state I was in, the physical fitness level I was in, balding. Yeah, like she was out of my league. So yeah, yeah, go for it. Good things can happen.
I think like a lot of also the being conscious of your body language and fake it till you make it will help you a lot in applying to this as well. You know, like don't be like, oh man, I know I'm in, you know, come at it with a level of confidence. Like, yeah, I deserve to be here. This is, you know, like I'm in the right pond, you know, and hold yourself high about it and yeah, go for it. Shoot your shot.
And
Yeah.
define what out of your league means, right? Like out of your league doesn't have to mean that she's some like drop dead gorgeous Instagram model who's super high maintenance, right? It could be like the beautiful girl who's also really cool, you know, who you
Yeah.
think is cooler than you. Like the ones that are high maintenance and stuff like that, in the end, they're not worth it.
Agreed. Avoid high maintenance. All right. Manliness is not only being able to take care of yourself, but others as well. Yeah, that's what Verdicks is. That's why we started this. We started it to take care of other people, to let you guys know that we're just regular dudes having fun. And if you were looking for somebody to talk to or to hear some nonsense, you could join our club.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. You have a responsibility to the people in your life, whether or not you want to, you owe it to them. We definitely owe it to people who can't do it too, right? Like if somebody's too sick to work or, you know, too poor to go some, like you have to do it because they can't.
Yeah, I would think manliness is also, or at least the role of in masculinity and being a man is more or less taking care of others before yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you
Definitely.
can take care of yourself, but you tend to let that go or you bury it down because really, you know, society doesn't want to hear about the man's problem. You know,
Yeah.
like not from a, you know, what it means in the political realm now. I mean, like in general, like, you know, like, you know, no one wants to hear about the guy that's struggling.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why so many guys just say, I saw something online the other day that was like, if you ask a guy how he's doing, he just says, all right. He's struggling, but he knows you don't want to hear about his problems. You know, and I thought, kind of, yeah, I get that. I see that. You know, but there's so many of them that are in that same boat. So join together and lift each other up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. I think we got go with a decision that will make a good story.
I've probably done this a handful of times just to have a good story to tell you two idiots. It always turned out pretty good, but it definitely could have turned out very poorly. But yeah,
there's been a couple of
For sure.
bad decisions made that turned into good stories. I didn't make those decisions knowing that they would be good stories later on. I made those decisions because I was an idiot.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if I've ever consciously thought like, I'm going to say yes to this because it's going to be one hell of a story.
Yeah, that opportunity hasn't presented itself in my life.
Yeah. You know who that is? That's Mike Baglini.
Yeah, totally.
That's Mikey B. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the yes man. You say yes, good things will happen to you. All right, last one here we have for tonight is when you walk, look straight ahead and not at your feet.
Or
Yeah,
your
this goes
phone.
back to body language. Keep your
Yeah.
eyes up. Look people in the eye when they're walking towards you in the hallway or on the sidewalk. Say hello. That stuff costs nothing, and it's the good thing to do.
You know, we're done this list. I thought of one in the shower this morning. My own dad euphemism.
Okay, what do you got?
My saying would be one of the things I would say is pack your gym bag the day before.
Lay your clothes out the night before. Make sure all your stuff is ready.
Just prepare, right? Like you're gonna have to do shit that sucks. That's good for you, and when you have to do that stuff, you'll find every excuse to not do it. So, like, plan. Like, if you don't have your gym bag packed when you wake up, it's very easy to just be like, well, I didn't pack my bag. I don't feel like doing it. I'm just going to go back to bed. Or, It's all this hard stuff that you have to do in life. If you are prepared, the more you prepare and the more you take ahead of or take care of ahead of time, the easier that decision to go through with the stuff that sucks that you ultimately know you have to do will be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Agreed.
great advice. Way to close it out. For more information like this, visit our website, verdicks.com, and check back on our channel. We'll be releasing videos a couple times a week.
Product review coming up.
All right. Keep an eye out
Right.
for it. We got a new one. It's coming out hot.
Our
If
boys.
you have ideas, things you want us to talk about, comment down below. Until next time, shields up.